Hi, I'm Chris, and 9CVR. In this video, we're going to make a Christmas gift. So I was talking with a friend of mine who has actually done a huge amount for me, getting me into the hobby, helping me to learn a whole bunch of stuff. And I've always been a little surprised by the fact that he doesn't seem to get on HF very much. If he does, it's in a vehicle. Turns out that's because he doesn't have an antenna. So, guess what we're doing? So what I did, let's see if I can, a couple of months ago I built myself an 80 meter antenna, just a dipole. Now the specifications on that had to be tiny because let's just say some people can get away with having an antenna farm in their yard, others can't, and it has nothing to do with the homeowners association. It has more to do with whether I am welcome in my own house. No, joking aside, my wife is a wonderful person, but I understand how she doesn't particularly like the aesthetic of a million antennas. So that's what I did. In this case, I'm kind of figuring if my friend might not have that much of the same problem because the best place to probably run his antenna would be kind of along the back property anyway, where normally you would expect to see some power lines. The other thing is it's going to be pretty low key what I'm going to be building anyway, so it's not going to be like really obnoxious. And then third, I mean, when somebody gives you a gift, what are you going to do? So instead of running an 80 to 10 dipole with RG316, which is tiny, actually, I've got it. It's this stuff. Very lossy at higher frequencies. Instead, we're going to run it with your standard RG8, RG8X, I don't remember which one I have. I've got a spool of it. So, and then we're still going to run the legs of the dipole with a thinner blue wire, so it's a little less visible. This is the 1-to-1 common mode current choke that we're going to be installing. This is the box. You see I've already pre-drilled a couple of holes just so that they're there. Instead of mounting a chassis connector, instead what I'm going to do is put one of these little cord gland, and we're just going to run the coax straight in and make the connections there, and then have like a 100-foot tail. That's worked really well for me. I think it'll work pretty well. And then we got these little contraptions here, which are basically going to sit on top like this, and these are what you connect the legs of the dipole to. Oh, and then a way to hang it. So feel free to watch along as we do this. That is why you want to clamp stuff down. I'm okay. Nothing horrible happened. But that is why you want to clamp stuff down, because that could have been bad. That being said, I don't really have a better way to clamp it down, so we're just going to try it again. That time I was very, very gentle with my, I don't know what you want to call it, amount of bite that I take as the drill bit goes by. These are going to be getting in the way, so I'm going to cut them out. I expected that to work, but I didn't expect it to work that well. Let's do the other side. Very nice. That's so fun. Quick little thing, I am not planning on crimping these, I'm planning on soldering them. So I just pulled these little plastic sleeves off, got rid of them. So we'll do it that way. Sitting in a workshop, I can't find my pliers, so we're just going to use the Leathermans. Just like there to be an angle on that, and same with this one. I was not, there we go, something like that, maybe a little more of an angle. There we go. The good news about this is I didn't turn out on the heater because I didn't think I was going to be out here very long. And because it's cold, you can do things like bend metal and your fingers don't hurt. I don't know if that's the right way to do it or not, but that's how I'm doing it. So see, that's kind of what we're going for. Let's see if we can, yeah, we can get that in there. Can grab the Leathermans and, hey there, buddy. I wanted you the other way. Something like that. Now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, I give up. I'm going to use one of these. I'm trying to remember if I got this for a Christmas or a birthday present, but whatever I got it for, it's awesome. There we go. That's pretty tight. Let's give this one a whirl. There we go. Okay, so that'll be for the two ends of the dipole. What else do I need? Oh yeah. My little hook here. The other thing I really don't like about this is how freaking long it is. See, it sticks basically into the inside of the, or into the middle of the enclosure. There, that's the word. So, I'll put that away. Grab the next tool out of Chris's pocket. And I'm gonna mark with a Sharpie because I'd like to cut that. Leaving a little room there so that I can put a lock washer in there too. Do that one off screen. Changed my mind. Instead of using a lock washer, I'm just going to use a nylock nut. This guy can go in here. This guy can go in here. And I need a wrench. Yeah, while we're at it, let's tighten this up. If you're ever curious how to know how much to tighten a bolt, what you do, hold on one side of it, get the wrench on the other. You tighten it down until it shears off, and then you back it off a quarter turn. And now we'll install our little cord gland. There we go. I think I'm going to tighten that one down with a universal nut rounder. I'll be right back. There we go. Kind of seeing how it's starting to look like a dipole? So now here comes the hard part, is I've got my little toroid. It is wound. And obviously one end goes to each of those two connectors, and that's fine. I can do that. The other end needs to go to a piece of coax that's going to feed in through here. Normally what gets done is you take your toroid and you screw it down to something here. I have no idea what size those screw mounting holes are. I don't have the right size screw for it. So we're gonna have to come up with something else. Here's one thought I had. We are literally just experimenting here at this point. Oh, don't tell me those are the right size holes. No, they're not. That could be something to do. Obviously, I'd have to re-drill those holes. I'll do some thinking, see what I come up with. Very conveniently, I found in my junk drawer some 440 screws and some M3 screws. I'm thinking this is probably one of those two sizes, so we're about to find out. Not like that, we aren't. Wouldn't you know it, I need another screwdriver. Kind of went in, then I kind of didn't, so kind of, oh, of course. Of course. Let's see if I can just do it by finger. No, I'm not going to be able to, but okay, I think that's an M3. I'm pretty sure it's an M3. See if I can get it out now. The 440 kind of went in, but not super well. I'm actually surprised it went in at all because those are completely different thread pitches. No, it's not a 440. It's got to be an M3. Looks like an M3 to me. That's useful information. So I wanted to avoid doing this, but I think we're going to do it anyway. So here's I'm going to have two M3 bolts, screws. You can leave that in the comments. Are these screws or are they bolts? And, excuse me, I was going to try to do something like, circuit board or a piece of plastic or something like that. I wanted to avoid 3D printing because my two options for 3D printing are PLA, which in this particular case I don't think is wise. Basically, it could get hot and melt, and we don't want that. Or PETG, which I hate printing. But guess what I think I'm going to print? PETG. So we'll be back with a little printed holder for this little donut here. It'll sit like that or something. And yeah, we'll go from there. Turns out this workbench is exactly 6 feet long, so we're going to use that to measure this chunk of wire here to the length I need, which happens to be 62.4 feet, and I'm going to give it another 0.1 of a foot just so I can fold an end over and maybe a little more than that, but anyway, fold an end over and have an attachment point. So the way we're going to do this is start here. I have a pretty much exact 6 foot wingspan. There's 6 feet. I may have done this already once and screwed up. So I've got a bunch of extra wire here. 2. Guess who lost track? Now from here, what I'm going to do, get out the trusty old tape measure. Now this is 2'6". I'm going to give it another inch. It's going to be about 2'7". There we go. One leg of the dipole. Now, in order to not have to do that again, here's how I'm going to do the other one. Put the two ends together. Start pulling. Two leg of dipole. Ah, 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 ah. Guess who doesn't have strippers with me? So we are going to very carefully do it like this.
Okay, I lied about the strippers. What I meant was there weren't any good strippers. So, this guy in here, and crimp away. Did I mention that these aren't good crimpers either? I will point out that this is marine heat shrink tubing, so it has adhesive on the inside. So here's what I printed. This is PET G, and it does not really like to print on my printer, but we got her. It's all right. And then this is going to be going like this, and I want to make sure that, I don't know, we'll probably do something like this. So, Ham's best friend, zip ties. Actually, we're going to go in this way. Something like this. Let's tighten it down a little more. Then that can get screwed in to here. Now we strip the coax back. Now, what I have learned about stripping coax, you can kind of separate the braid and then get something that isn't sharp, hopefully a little sharper than this screwdriver, not too much. And all I'm doing is separating the braid there. Now what I'm going to try to do is shove the inner conductor out through the side of the braid. There we go. So that can go to the two ends of the dipole. I do need a cutter. Don't have a very good one here, so we're just going to use this for now. Sorry, somebody's going to cringe at my calling these not very good. What I mean is I was looking for a flush cutter. These are very good cable cutters, but they are not good flush cutters. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing over here. All right. Coax, dipole. Did a couple unfun things off camera here. Another unfun thing I'm gonna have to do here real soon. Oops. Is organize my bench. This place is turning into a disaster. Doesn't work so good if you solder to the dielectric. There we go. That's kind of what we want to see. Actually, I should probably use this thing on here now. There we go. One side. There we go. This is a little Weller soldering iron that I was given. My favorite soldering iron is in the house. I'm not enjoying this one nearly as much as I enjoy the other one. What can you do? There we go. That's going to have to be good enough. I'm not happy with that solder job, but it is what it is. You don't want to know how long it took me to get that on. We're just going to pretend that didn't happen. Yeah, I had to turn that off for a little bit. It's finally in there. I do not like slotted screws. You just saw why. They are a pain in the patootie. Now, let's see what we can arrange here. I feel like I need a bit of heat shrink there. There we go. I'm mildly proud of myself. When I turned off the camera, I did not curse, at least out loud. I will say nothing about what I did quietly to myself. All right, we're going to call that good. I'm going to heat shrink that very carefully. I will not even attempt to do that on camera. I will button it up and test it, and then that'll be it. That's about what we're looking at. I think it'll make a fine gift.